to thank you for tuning into my very thoughtful world. I appreciate you taking time to listen or watch. Today, I want to encourage you to learn how to get out of your own way. Recently, I was listening to a podcast with Will Smith, and I encourage you, if you have not yet, get his book. It's amazing. And the reason I really like that book is because Will Smith, we like to think of as, so successful. And most of us would think that surely he doesn't suffer from imposter syndrome, but actually he does. And that, for me, let me know that one, we're never alone when we do struggle with imposter syndrome. However, it also taught me that it's not that the people who are successful, who are winning in life, don't have moments and thoughts of things aren't going the way they think they should go or that they're not deserving of it. Doesn't mean that they don't struggle with those thoughts. It means that they haven't allowed those thoughts to keep them stuck where they are. And many of us are moving through life just feeling completely stuck. One story he shared, and perhaps you've heard it before, is he talks about when he was at a Quincy Jones party, and Quincy had all these people there, and in Quincy's mind, he had everyone there to green light the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And he put Will on the spot, and he says, "Hey, I need you to audition in 10 minutes." Well, Will wanted to have time. He was like, maybe we can come back. I need time to practice. I want to go talk to an acting coach, the whole thing. And Quincy challenged him to say, listen, there's never going to be another time where everybody that needs to sign off on this deal is in the room right now. What are you going to do? And so I want to encourage you that there are times you are faced with opportunities. People invite you to either speak on their stage or create something big for them because they know who you are. They've seen you do something in the past. And how many of you guys have been invited to, I don't know, speak or lead something, create something, be a part of something bigger than you, and you say no? You say no because you think, I don't know how yet, or I don't have that level, or I don't know enough information to teach a class, or perhaps I don't know as much as I think I need to know in order to do this thing I'm being asked to do. Myron Golden says, many of us think when we know how to do something, then we will do it. But the truth of the matter is, when we believe we can do something, we will figure out how. And that's what Will did in that moment. He believed that he could do it. So he figured out how to have this audition in 10 minutes in a room full of people when he wasn't prepared. And I want you to get in a place and in the mindset and the strength, like stand in your boldness, in your greatness, where when you're faced with something difficult or you've been invited to do something that makes you uncomfortable, that your knee-jerk reaction isn't to bow down or allow what I call your mind monsters to tell you that you're not ready, that you're not equipped for this. You, you need to walk away. You need to wait. Please stop doing that to yourself. I believe doors can't open until you're ready. So if a new door opens to you, even if you think you're not ready, I say yes to the door, and then do all you can to get ready. Do all you can to prepare. And here's the wonderful thing about life. If life is either offering you an opportunity to practice to get better, or open a door for a bigger opportunity to arrive. So imagine if the next time you're being invited to do something that makes you uncomfortable, but something that's certainly in your wheelhouse, something that if you really think about it, you know that you're equipped to do. I encourage you, the next time you're invited to do something like that, please say yes. Say yes, and then know that you have all within you to gain the courage, to gain the clarity, to then go forward and figure out all the details in between. I think a lot of us get so wrapped up in this mindset of what is right and what is wrong. I always encourage my clients, let go of this concept of right and wrong and ask yourself, is it working? Is it working that you're playing small? Is it working that you don't show up in your greatness? Is it working that you keep putting off your dreams? Is it working that you keep procrastinating or thinking that things are going to magically get better? Is that working for you? If it's not, I promise you, you just need some courage. You need more confidence. And here's the thing. You have to recognize that courage and confidence are two different things. Courage is the ability to do it afraid. It means that, listen, I'm uncertain. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but who I do know is me. And I know that I'm willing to show up at my best level. And even if today, if my best is my hands are shaking and I stumble over my words, I'm going to show up. so that maybe tomorrow I can get it better. And that's the only way we get better is through practice. And the more we practice, then we get the confidence. It's not the confidence that's going to come. You can't pray your way into feeling more confident. You can't pray your way into making the fear go away. It takes action. So I'm asking you today, are you getting in your own way? Are you stopping you? Years ago, when Bryson was, I think he was 11th grade, Bryson taught me that he's an introvert, but he recognized his sophomore year in school and a part of his 11th grade year. He said, Mama, this being an introvert is costing me. It's costing me too much. I'm missing out on parties I want to go to. I go to parties, then I don't talk to anybody. I freeze up. So he was intentional about what we call collecting his nose. He done some research and it said that, there's a set amount of no's that you get before you get a yes. And because Bryson is a very logical kid, he and a friend, they teamed up and they decided they was going to collect this amount of no's so that they could get a yes. So they did everything that was uncomfortable for them. They asked girls out that there was a part of them that didn't even believe they stood a chance with these particular girls. But for them, it wasn't about getting the yes. It was about getting the no, because they believed that they got to a certain amount of no's, they was going to get the yes. Just practicing this behavior helped him to see that there are two parts of him. There's this very bold, audacious, courageous part of him. And then there's what we call the little Bryson. He's the one who shows up and is in there, who speaks from that imposter mindset, who tells him what he can't do, who he can't become. And if you're really honest, you have that part of you too. You have the bold, courageous, full of dreams, big imagination, believe that anything can happen, have all faith. If you're like me, a God girl, you have all the faith in God. And through God, I can do all things, and that God can do all things in me and through me. You'll have that moment. And sometimes that moment is faint. But that part of you, that is the greater part of you. That is the part of you that is connected to God, connected to love source. And when you learn to just listen to that part of yourself more, and you decide that even if I have to do it with my knees knocking and my hands shaking, I'm going to say yes to that part of myself. I believe it's that part of you that is where all the beauty, the juicy stuff in life is. I believe that, like for me, saying yes to living abroad, when I tell you every dream I had when I was younger happened when I moved to a new country. Was I afraid? No, I was probably way more excited than I was afraid about living in this new country. But it was a lot of uncertainty, and I'm the type of person, I'm comfortable in uncertainty. So I know that this is not for everyone. But certainly when I started this career of wanting to be a speaker, wanting to be a coach, deciding to become an author, all of those things terrified me. But I knew there was something bigger in me, greater than me, that this was like my calling. It's like it spoke to me at night. I remember being in China and met a young lady, and she was proudly introducing me as her new friend, the author. And I thought, who is she talking about? Because I still saw myself as just Kenesha, who, I'm Kenesha and I've written a book, but I didn't think of myself as an author. Although we know authors write books, I had written a book, so now I'm an author. But many times we get caught up about the title. We get caught up about what we assume people are going to think of us, whether highly of us or see us bigger than we see ourselves, or maybe they may even make us think, who do I think I am? Who do I think I am to be an author? But when I tell you, when you step into that role, when you decide that you are the author, you are the writer, you are the coach, the teacher, the leader, the business owner, the entrepreneur, whatever that thing is that's calling you, when you decide to step into that, here's what's a wonderful thing that happens. People will call you what you call you. So if you call yourself author, they will address you as author. If you call yourself leader, entrepreneur, CEO, other people will begin to call you that, and you will begin to move out of what I call the little you into the greater you, and then spend more time hanging out into that person. I want to tell you about my coaching academy. Listen, if you are ready to get out of your own way, to quiet the mind monsters in your head, to walk away from like the self-doubt. If you're exhausted from always having great ideas but never seeing them through, like I think that's one of the worst things, is to have a great idea and the idea just becomes an idea. And then you have another great idea and you share with people, but then you never make the idea manifest. You never have the full opportunity of the idea. You never create the event that you're excited about. You get people excited about, and then you never do it. You never write the book that you've told people you've written, but then you won't publish it. That, after a while, not only is it disappointing to you, that poem that talks about a dream deferred, now your dream becomes like a rotten, what is it? I can't remember how the poem goes, but it talks about how it feels. It begins to have a snitch. It becomes rotten. That's because when you don't move in the direction of these dreams, it aches the heart. It will make you begin to feel um, stuck. Maybe your mind monsters tell you you're useless. That feeling of not feeling fulfilled because you're really not doing what you've been called to do, that's like an ache. And it's a constant ache, and it doesn't go away until you show up. So I just want to encourage you today, please do all you can to move out of that mindset and that space of allowing your thoughts to rob you of the bigger, greater you. And so, as I started this conversation saying, this is where Thoughtful Mindset Academy comes in. I want you to imagine having access to video teachings a day, like maybe one day a week or every morning. You just listen to a video teaching that begin to really teach you how to quiet your mind monsters, how to help you get over procrastination. I want you to get the courage you need, just not just by thinking, but realizing that it is my thinking that's keeping me from taking action. It is the way I'm thinking that's keeping me from showing up in my greatness. It's not because life is hard or I can't do it or I can't understand it, or if I understood it, then I would do it. It's simply the way you're thinking. This program is a magical tool, and I call it magical because it's stat heavy with every program I've ever used. And these programs, I've had a woman who said she struggled with depression for years. And she said, I went to therapy and I was on medication and nothing helped me like your Miracle Mindset program. That was an honor. Another lady did that program and she said she was full of self-doubt and she worried all the time. And she said by doing the work, she had this job she wanted. She got the courage to apply for the job and she got the job. Because listen, we bring about what we think about. And so now, because she was shifting the way she was thinking, her energy was shifting, she was able to land her job. Another lady did my program, Purpose, Passion, and Profits. Now, before she did this program, she was done with education. She was going to walk away from, at the time, we was living in Beijing, China, and she was moving to start something else. When she did the program revealed to her the greatness of who she is, what was lacking in her educational, the current job she had, that she could continue to stay in Beijing and land a perfect opportunity simply because now she was clear about her values. She understood herself at a different level. She understood the parts of herself that she knew was going with her into jobs, but that she wasn't using. I always say, if you are going on a job and all you're using are your talents and you're not using your gifts, you will constantly feel unfulfilled, because it is the gift that God has put inside of you that is what's calling you. That's what's keeping you up at night. It requires to be seen, to be heard. And many of us aren't using it because we're just totally disconnected from it, because we haven't done the work to really discover what that is. So imagine having these programs right at your fingertips. I could share with you testimony after testimony. Had another lady who did my program. I think we worked together for about 4 weeks. 4 sessions. She started with me wanting to leave her 6-figure job to start her own business. And the goal at the time was 6 months she was going to do it. Then as she worked with me 6 sessions. I want to tell you the truth. And she used the program That's it, part of the package, Journey to Your Best Self. In a matter of 6 weeks of us working together, she went from going to leave this job in 6 months, then she said 3 months, to leaving it within less than 3 months, starting her own business. And she's now making more money in her business than she was making doing the job that she was doing. Now, I get that's not everyone's story, but all she needed, because she was brilliant, she is brilliant, all she needed was a mindset shift. I've had women do this program where they didn't think the marriage was good and they thought their husband's was the worst person in the world and he was this and he was that. They get in this program and they begin to dig in, they begin to discover things about themselves, and they realize they've been projecting because internally they weren't happy. And now they have all the tools and strategies they need to understand themselves at a deeper level. So they change the way they communicate, not only with their spouse, but with themselves. And now their marriages are better, they are better, and they're moving in purpose. They're doing what they've been called to do because they are connected to their gifts. And so they found joy because of that. That is what the program is all about. So that is something you're interested in. I encourage you, go to my website right now, verythoughtfullife.com. Click on Thoughtful Mindset Academy. When I tell you this program is stacked, whatever it is you want to accomplish in life, all you need is the right mindset to do it. You may think you need to know how. What you need more than to know how to do a thing is why you're not doing it already. When you discover that, I promise you, you'll show up at a different level. I want to say thank you so much for listening to Very Thoughtful Life podcast. It means the world to me that you would take your time to listen or watch if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Will you do me a favor? Will you like, subscribe, and share this podcast? And will you always remember that it is our thoughts that's creating our decisions, and our decisions that's creating our destiny. And I want you to create thoughts and decisions that lead you to the destiny of your dreams. Have a wonderful night.